Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. What you're looking at is an explosive new Mars image with what can only be described as a large base. It sort of looks like a military installation. Now, this was found on Google Mars, and if you don't know already, Google Mars, which you can find after you download Google Earth, and you can scour over the millions of satellite images in which these objects are hidden, and NASA has done a good job of hiding a lot of these objects. Many times what they'll do, if the objects are too sharp and the resolution is too high, they will simply erase the object. However, erasing objects can cause even more scrutiny, and it does put the spotlight on NASA because people notice when things aren't right when comparing other images. So another trick that they'll use is they'll blur these structures out, or they'll play with the contrast and the brightness so that the objects simply blend in with the surrounding terrain, so you don't really notice it at first glance when you're just skimming over the thousands of satellite Mars images, or moon images for that matter. But here we have a definite structure with definite characteristics, right sharp angles, divots, and domes that are connected to this thing. And there is actually a similar structure on the moon that we've done a video on way back, and I will see if I can find that image, and if I do, I will post it to our Twitter and our Facebook. And what this object kind of looks like is a cross between a military installation and sort of like an airport installation, if you know what I mean. We will zoom into the object here and highlight it for you. So here's the object up close, and just so you know exactly what we're talking about, we will brighten the image and correct the contrast. And we will also give a special highlight of the object, which is what you're seeing here, so you know exactly what we're talking about. And once we have highlighted it, you will start to notice these features popping out at you. Take, for instance, we have this large U-shaped installation. It looks like it has multiple buildings. We have this U shape here that is curving in a U, and you can see at the top of this U, there's a small divot that comes down. Looks like there's a piece of the structure missing. And then to the very right of the structure, we have another building complete with a ceiling, the side wall, and the front wall, as well as the corners. And you can see that the shadows correlate. I mean, this looks like a building that you would see from Earth. I actually showed this image to an analyst friend of mine who has worked in the satellite imagery industry, we'll say. And I didn't tell him that this image was from Mars. I simply showed him this image, I highlighted it, I showed it to him even without highlighting it, and asked him what he thought. Now, afterwards, I told him that it was indeed a Mars image, and he told me point blank that had I not told him that this was a Mars image, that he would have said with 100% certainty that this is a man-made object, that this looked like a high-altitude satellite image of Earth, of some sort of military or industrial installation with multiple buildings.